How's it going, man? What do you want to talk about?
Paco, how you doing?
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about your background, immigration, the war. You pick. I don't care. You pick anything, any MAGA or any socialist, Democrat, fucking communist talking points, and we can fucking talk about it.
Sure. Yeah. What about immigration? Do you support
I think that we should halt. Do you know Congressman Brandon Gill? Are you familiar with him?
Brandon Gillards?
Brandon Gill.
No, I'm not familiar with him. Am I
But
supposed to
yes.
be familiar with him?
Oh yeah, he's a delightful human being.
Would doubt that, but
Anti-immigration.
okay.
Anti-immigration, wholeheartedly anti-immigration. He actually proposed something that we halt immigration as a whole in its entirety until we get every single last illegal immigrant off American soil. How do you
Okay.
feel
What's
about
one
that?
benefit of mass deporting every single undocumented immigrant?
What's what?
What's one material benefit of mass deporting every single undocumented immigrant?
Oh, you switched it to material benefit.
Yeah. Do you know what material
Wow.
benefit is?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What's one
You talk.
material benefit?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just like a very materialistic kind of guy, huh? It's
Okay.
all
What's
you
one
care
benefit
about.
of mass
You don't
deporting
care
every
about
single
like
undocumented immigrant?
you
Let
don't
me
care
see.
about like culture or religion, just all
Okay, so then
material
just
stuff.
tell me one benefit. Okay, I'm literally just asking for a benefit.
Okay, culture, religion, even one person unalived by somebody who should have never been on American soil in the first place is one too many. I don't care how much they affect the economy or the GDP. You know, any woman that's
So you want less
raped,
crime?
any child, yeah.
Okay, then you shouldn't support mass deportation.
What?
Can you agree if A equals B and B equals C, A equals C?
No.
No, you're fucking stupid. If A equals B and B equals C, A equals C, yes?
I don't know what the fuck that even
Just
means,
answer
dude.
yes. It's just a yes or no question.
No.
Well, you're stupid because it is the case that if A equals B and B equals C, A does equal C.
Yeah, no, fucking A doesn't equal B and fucking B doesn't equal C
I'm
and
saying if A
A doesn't
equal. I'm
equal
saying
C.
that's why I
No.
said if. If A, we're talking about. Did you graduate high school? Holy shit.
Yes.
Okay. Were you ever taught about this?
Yes.
Okay, so then you should know if A equals B and B equals C, A equals C, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Mass deportation, A, increases poverty. Okay. Per the American Immigration Council. I can tell you all about it after. So A equals B. B, poverty increases crime rate per FBI statistic reports. Therefore, mass deportation increases crime rate. Now you're going to ask, how does it increase poverty? I mean, you kind of already agreed. He said he didn't care. It's going to be because they contribute 1.1 to 1.7 trillion dollars into the GDP. That's all going to be gone. $100 billion in taxes, $22 billion in Social Security, $6 billion in Medicaid, as well as like indirectly by working. And then that we're going to see inflation go up and GDP revenue go down. So that's how it's going to increase poverty. Okay, and then my source for with poverty comes more crime is going to be the FBI statistics.
If we never
So it is the
had
case
what
that if
they
you want to lower crime, you don't want to do mass deportation.
if we never had the money that they threw into the system, we would be fine without it. Especially if we cut
No.
what the things that we're wasting money on, the fraud and waste here in the United States. And in all reality, if they contributed that much, which I'm not sure on the exact stats and how much they contributed, but if they contributed that much to our economy and to our GDP, we can just use that money to deport them. What's wrong with that? It's their
Because
money. Use it.
deporting them causes more crime.
How?
I just told you how. Deporting them hurts the economy, and a hurt economy increases crime. Therefore, the action of deporting them, which would also cause the action of poverty, also causes the action of an increase in crime. And statistically, undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit any sort of crime.
Well, that's why we're not deporting them. We're throwing them inside of camps. We're going to use them as free labor.
Okay, so like just like modern day slavery, right? Your
Yes.
concentration camps.
Yeah.
Would you ever let someone legally immigrate if they're a rapist, for example?
No.
Okay. That you wouldn't let someone legally immigrant if they raped someone?
I think that we should honestly bring back public unalivings
for any rapist.
for people like that. Yeah.
Damn, you just called for the unaliving of President Trump, buddy. I think we
Yeah, I
should take
mean,
that back.
if,
Also, if you wouldn't
if it
let
can be
someone legally
proven,
enter the country if they're a rapist, why did you let one become the president of the United States of America?
if it can be proven, if he can
It was
actually
proven in
be,
civil court. You want to see it?
no, no, the basis in that civil court, when the jury decided, they said that you have to use a 51% on
Yeah, buddy.
on a possibility on
Minimum.
if it happened or not. So
Minimum, yes.
the jury decided that it was a
No,
51%
no, that's a lie. That's a lie.
possibility.
That no minimum, right? It could have been more. We don't know what the
Correct.
jury percentage
A
saw. So it's a
51%
minimum.
minimum possibility that it could have potentially taken place.
Sure. So what's the reasonable doubt that he didn't rape her?
And it was also,
What's the reasonable doubt that he didn't rape her?
or what year was it?
1995, 1996.
Or which one?
You told me a year, and I told you a year. What's the definition
No,
of a
no,
year?
I asked you for 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. How many days are in a year?
No. Which year?
Yeah, between 1995 and
No,
1996.
not a 365-day span. Which
A
year?
365 day is a year.
No, which one? Pick 1 year.
19,
Which year did it
late
happen?
1995 to early 1996.
Okay. So, what day
That's
of
a
the week?
year. Is that not a year?
What day of the week? No, I
Is that
said
not a
which
year?
year? Which year?
Between 1995 and 1996. That is
Right,
between the time span
which
of
one?
365 days. Are you talking about a calendar year?
So you're saying that this happened in between like Christmas-ish, we'll call it from Thanksgiving to Easter, sometime in this time frame, right?
Late 2025 between early no fuck what the fuck late 1995 between early 1996. Sorry.
Yeah, so like Thanksgiving to Easter, sometime in this time frame it happened. You know, she couldn't tell the jury or the court which holiday was closest, what day of the week it was, and
Okay.
which one of those 2 years it happened.
She
and
gave
took
a year.
place in.
A year is 365 days. She gave a year. Why does it matter if she didn't remember what holiday was near? Why does that matter? That's not reasonable doubt.
Pretty sure that you'd remember going to Christmas and seeing your family
that's
after
not
a
reasonable
tragedy
doubt.
like that happened to you.
Actually, that's not necessarily true. Some victims choose to block out everything else that happens during the traumatic event. Do you realize that? Right? Maybe you would remember everything, right? And that's actually like some victims do relive it time and time again. Some victims just choose to block out the traumatic event. That's not reasonable doubt that she didn't get raped by Trump. So what is the reasonable doubt?
What is the reasonable doubt?
Yes, because in
She
order for it to
doesn't
have
know
been a criminal
anything.
case, in order for it
And
to be a criminal
waited.
case,
She waited
hold on.
until he ran
In order
for
for it to be a
president.
criminal case, in order for it to be a criminal case, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. So you need to provide the reasonable doubt and prove the reasonable doubt. So what is the reasonable doubt?
She didn't know anything, dude. And
She
she
didn't know
waited
what?
until
What
he,
didn't she-
until he
what
ran
didn't
for
she know?
president. She waited for. Dude, I like how you couldn't win our original fucking debate.
Can
so
you-
just
can you
switched
tell
to,
me what she didn't know?
You voted
Can
for
you
a
tell me what she
rapist?
didn't know?
Dude,
Can you tell me what
it's
she
the
didn't
same
know?
fucking bullshit that
Can you
fucking
tell me
Dean
what
and
she
Parker
didn't
do.
know? Tell
Let
me
me
what she didn't
fucking-
know.
Let me finish a sentence.
Hold on. You made a claim she didn't know, which is the reasonable doubt. What didn't she know that makes it reasonable to doubt this? What didn't she know?
She knew nothing.
She knew the year 1995, 1996. So she did know something. What didn't she know? Tell me.
Nothing.
I
Dude,
just
she
told you
did not
knew
know
the
the
year.
fucking year. No, I'm not talking about a 365-day span. Which was it in the fucking winter? Was it fucking near Christmas? Was it the next year after?
I already said,
did she
victims.
have to
Some
go to
victims.
Christmas
Some
right
victims
after
block.
getting like
Some victims block everything out after a traumatic event. So that's not reasonable doubt. Okay, that's not. So what is the reasonable doubt? That's not reasonable. That's not reasonable. And you know that.
Also, listen to this. People like you and Parker and Dean
That's great. Can you tell me the reasonable
debate.
doubt?
You won't debate a fucking Republican. You won't debate a fucking conservative. You only debate people that say that are Trump supporters, just so that way you could throw that bullshit in their face, because you can't actually have a debate and you just switch to rape the second that fucking anything anything. The second you
Well,
start
I'm
losing a
sorry. When
fucking
you
debate,
said you want to send every brown person to a concentration camp, yeah, I'm gonna fucking move on because that's fucking absurd. The fuck? I'm not gonna fucking debate that. Are you weird? I'm not debating whether or not we should send brown people to concentration camps. You're fucking insane. You're insane. So yes, I moved on. So fucking deal with it and shut the fuck up and answer the question. Or I'm gonna
obviously I
move on
don't
to the next
fucking
guest.
believe in that. I just want to see if you thought that
I don't give
Trump's
a fuck
actually
what you
doing
want to
that.
talk about when you want all brown people to go to concentration camps. So shut up and answer the question. What is the reasonable doubt to the rape case?
They don't know fucking anything. There was
I already
literally
told
no
you she
fucking
knew the
proof in
fucking
any way,
year. That's
shape,
not,
form, or
and I already
capacity.
told you that's not reasonable doubt. A lot of victims don't remember anything about what happened during a traumatic event, and that's completely fine. That's just what psychologically happens to some victims.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
not
I don't
reasonable.
know. And she also waited how many years after the fact?
Okay, most victims don't even come out. It takes victims decades to come out. That's per rain.org. So that's also not reasonable. It would be expected for a rape victim to wait 20 years to come out or not come out at all. That would be expected. Because people like you, that's expected. So that's not reasonable. So what is the reasonable doubt? Try again.
All of it is fucking doubtable.
Give me one example of reasonable doubt.
I just told you. She
No, you
has
didn't.
no fucking idea what happened. She came out years
He
later.
forcefully penetrated
what
her
the fuck?
vagina with his
So
fingers.
hold on.
That's
Hold
what
on.
happened.
And then waited until he ran for
That's
his
not-
political
that's not-
campaign for president.
That's not reasonable doubt because most victims don't even come out and victims take decades to come out. That's per rain.org. There are statistics on this. Most rape victims don't even come out, and if they do, they take decades. So that's not reasonable.
If you told me, if you
Do you
told
know
me
what
that
the-
she, if
do
you
you
told
know
me
what
she
the
was
word reasonable
Republican,
is?
if you told me that she was Republican, I'd fucking believe her more.
Do you know
But she's
what
not.
the
She's
word?
a fucking Democrat that hated
That's not
that
reasonable.
we're getting a
That's literally
Republican president.
illogical. Hold on. Do you know what the word reasonable means? Are you saying Democrats can't get raped by Republicans? You're saying if a single Democrat accuses a Republican of rape, it didn't happen? You're fucking insane.
No, I'm saying it's the most controversial man in United States history. Ran
That's not
for
reasonable
president.
doubt.
Ran
That
for
is not
president.
reasonable doubt.
And is throwing brown people in camps. And now people want to come out of the woodworks and be like, "Oh, he raped me."
Yes, and she was able to prove it. Yes.
She's not
What is the
prove
reason?
it.
Do you
She
know what the
proved
reasonable?
fucking
Do
slander.
you know what the word reasonable means? Yes or no?
Yes.
So then, what is the reasonable doubt? Because it's not that it took her too long, right? That's expected. Okay. Are you saying? Okay. Why did she lie? Why?
That's not what happens in civil cases.
Because if she were to lie, wouldn't she want to tell where it happened? Right? Wouldn't she say, like, if she were to lie, example for money or just to like defame him, wouldn't she like say it happened in a room where no cameras are expected? Right? That's reasonable. Right? If she said that it happened in a room, in a private room where no like cameras are around, then yeah, that could be some reasonable doubt. But it happened in a dressing room in public. So what is the reason? Why would she lie? There is no reasonable belief that leads us to the point that she would lie. Because if you think she lies, or if you think she doesn't remember things, that is expected of a rape victim after waiting decades to come out. Yes. You're fucking stupid. There is no reasonable doubt.
There's no way possible that she lied in your mind.
There is no reasonable doubt that leads us to believe that she lied. And again, in order to prove it in a criminal court case, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. So you have to prove the reasonable doubt.
In a
Not doubt.
criminal court case, yes. This
Yeah,
is a civil court
yes,
case,
but
and it's
we're-
not beyond a reasonable
we're
doubt.
examining
in
it.
this case.
We're
It's
examining it under the
51%.
we're examining the case under the definition of a criminal court case, which is beyond a reasonable doubt. So you have to say the reasonable doubt. Okay, you have to point us to the reasonable doubt. So what is the reasonable doubt? It's not that she took too long. It's not that she didn't remember. Like, that's expected of rape victims. He left. States of America, the Islamic Republic of Iran, and various countries as listed. Separately, I had a call with Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu of Israel, which likewise went very well. Final aspect of details of the deal are currently being discussed and will be announced shortly, in addition to many other elements of the agreement. Sorry, the Strait of Hormuz will be open. Thank you for attention to this matter. This is going to be JCPOA Part 2, except this time there's 13 service members that are dead and innocent children that have also died. It's literally what Obama did, but with a war. and he's the one who dismantled the JCPOA. We have Colby up in here. How's it going? What do you want to talk about, Colby?
I have a. I wanted to talk about something you said when you were speaking with the last person. Uh, you did say that I'm pretty sure it was that deporting people is causing poverty.
Mass deportation increases crime rate. Yes.
It increases crime rate.
Yes.
How can you explain that to me? How that
Yeah,
happens?
because mass deportation increases poverty. Poverty increases crime rate. Therefore, mass deportation increases crime rate.
So how can deporting people increase poverty?
Yeah, according to the American Immigration Council, we'd see a reduction
Well,
in the GDP. Roughly, number seen as a 2008 recession. We would lose 1.1 to 1.7 trillion dollars of GDP revenue, 100 billion dollars in taxes, 22 billion dollars in social security, and 6 billion dollars in Medicaid. That's what they directly contribute, as well as inflation going up, and indirectly by their jobs and by them working. So that would cause an increase of poverty.
okay, if we're talking about people that are not supposed to be in our country taking jobs from people who are legally allowed to be here,
Nah, they're
and
conquering jobs.
they're conquering job. Explain.
Yeah. Just how you guys say that America was conquered. They're not stealing jobs, so they're conquering jobs. Continue.
So if they're taking jobs that legal citizens
Are we on
should,
stolen land?
huh?
Are we on stolen land?
How? What does that have to do with
Just a
deporting people?
question.
Um, I would say yes.
Okay. Continue.
All right,
They're
so
stealing jobs. Sure. Continue.
okay, so if people who aren't supposed to be here are stealing jobs, how is that? I don't understand how getting rid of them would not help the economy by giving our legal citizens more opportunity for jobs.
Supply and demand. That's basic supply and demand.
How is that even basic supply and demand?
Yeah, when you have more people in an economy, you're gonna have more demand for a certain. You're gonna have more demand for certain goods or services, which would increase the need for supply, which would also increase the need for jobs. Right, when you have 11 million people abruptly deported from this country, that would decrease the demand for certain goods and services, decrease the supply. There's no incentive for companies to hire American workers if mass deportation happens. Right, there's more of an incentive for them to downsize.
If mass deportation happens, that would leave jobs open for
But you're
U.S.
assuming that
citizens
those
who have.
jobs are going to remain open. There's no incentive for them to remain open. What's the incentive for the jobs to remain open?
What does that mean?
What is a good reason that leads you to believe that jobs will remain open?
Well, if we deport illegals that have jobs in the U.S., that would leave open jobs for U.S. citizens.
But you do acknowledge that if we remove 11 million unauthorized workers, demands for certain goods and services will go down as well, Res.
I'm sure there is many Americans to replace those jobs. Many
No, I'm talking about
Americans,
demands for goods and services.
goods and services. What is a? They can get their goods and services in their origin country.
No, yes, but there's going to be a reduction of demand for goods and services in America if we remove 11 million unauthorized
That's
people.
a good thing. That's a
No,
good
because
thing. Why?
if there's a reduction in demand, there's going to be a reduction in the need for supply, and if there's a reduction in the need for supply, there's going to be less jobs. And that's why there's more of an incentive for these companies to downsize,
So,
right? Because there's going to
so
be less
you're
people
saying
buying things.
that it is good that illegals are in our country, not
No, it's not.
unauthorized
So let's add another word after that. I don't mind you calling them illegal. Let's refer to them as like immigrants or something.
immigrant.
Just
Okay,
add illegal immigrants. But yeah, I don't think it's good because they get exploited. I prefer mass amnesty,
what does that mean?
giving undocumented immigrants a pathway to residency or citizenship to where they don't have to leave the
They're
country
citi-
if they have not committed a violent crime or bad crime, and if they have, under the condition that they get deported, if they get put in prison in their own country, if not put them in prison in our country. That's what mass amnesty is.
So back to your original topic, you are not a Trump supporter.
No, I'm not. But do you want to answer what I said?
What did you say? Repeat that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, mass amnesty is going to be a pathway to residency or citizenship for undocumented immigrants who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime, to where they don't have to leave the country. And if they have committed a violent crime or bad crime, they get deported under the condition that they're put in prison in their own country. I feel like that's the most beneficial for America and most beneficial for the immigrants.
I do agree with that, but I also disagree that uh sorry, my bad. A little bit of brain fog.
Are you a Trump supporter?
I am.
Why?
Well, compare him to, let's say, perhaps, the last president in office. Has he not done greater things?
No.
How not?
Joe Biden did amazing.
Joe
He
Biden
was
did
not bad.
amazing.
Yeah,
Joe-
with the economy, he did amazing.
Joe Biden was a borderline dementia patient.
Trump, no, he wasn't diagnosed with dementia. First off, Trump, he wasn't diagnosed with dementia.
He wasn't. He's borderline. This like
Sure, you can say the same thing for Trump then.
Trump
but
is Trump is fair well minded and he's way younger.
He's like 2 years
And
younger
also
than Joe
and also
Biden.
hold on. Also
he's,
another
he's
thing.
2
Also
years.
another thing.
Hold on.
But-
He's 2 years younger than Joe Biden. Like what?
If,
And also,
if-
yes, Joe Biden did better. Joe Biden did better with the economy than Trump. Yes, name one good thing that Trump has done. Okay, do you want to talk about the economy?
Okay,
Or do you want to
yeah.
talk about it in general? Okay,
All right, so
name one macroeconomic variable.
the
that did better in 2025
the
than
economy is fucked
2024.
because of war right now.
No, but just before the war. So name one macroeconomic variable that did better in 2025 compared to 2024.
I'm not sure I can, but here's one thing I can
All
say.
of them were horrible. Inflation, horrible.
Inflation,
growth, horrible.
the inflation is not even really his fault. We got war going on in our trade.
The inflation was his fault in 2025 because he implemented Liberation Day, his tariffs, which increased inflation. And the inflation rising this term or this year is his fault because who started the war? Trump. Right.
Well,
so it is his fault.
He didn't directly start the war. The war is happening on the other side of the world.
Who's the commander in chief?
You understand that our allies over there are supported by us.
But who launched on February 28th targeted strikes? Israel and who?
America.
Cool. And who gives the green light to launch those strikes? The commander.
I would say president. I would say the president.
Commander in chief. Yes.
Yeah.
So Trump is directly the cause for inflation going up because he's the one who greenlit the war, and then he's directly the cause of inflation going up in 2025.
By the end of 2026, inflation is going to be way, way down.
Okay, why? How do you know that?
I can tell you the exact information on that, but that is
There's no evidence that leads you to believe that.
There is evidence on it.
No, I mean the war isn't even over. Right? He was about to restart the war yesterday. There was like imminent strikes on Iran that were going to happen yesterday. Right?
By the end of 2026, inflation will be down. That's proven.
No, it's not proven. No.
Okay.
It's just stupid.
Okay.
Like, do you realize like how stupid that sounds? Like prices are only expected to go up. Like for example, prices are going to go up during the summer. Inflation is going to skyrocket during the summer. You want to know why? Because that's when like the oil prices are going to start affecting goods and services, i.e., fruits, vegetables, and
you understand that. You understand that Trump. You understand that Trump was actually trying to open, get oil in our own country.
Okay, he failed. If that's what he was trying to do, he failed.
He didn't fail. Joe Biden came into office and shut that shit down.
Okay, so you're saying there was more oil production under Trump than Biden?
I didn't say we didn't even start producing it. Joe Biden shut that shit down before it even happened.
We weren't producing any oil under Joe Biden?
We were buying it from other countries, mainly.
Who produced more? Who produced more barrel of oils? Trump or Joe Biden? Trump first term or Joe Biden? Who produced more?
Joe Biden did because of the setup of Trump, and then Joe Biden decided that it's better, I guess, to buy our oil from other countries.
Okay, buying our oil wouldn't be production. Who produced more, Trump or Joe Biden?
Like this is just a never-ending site. Trump
Joe
set
Biden.
it up. Trump
Okay,
set it up.
what did Trump set up then? What did Trump set up?
All of our oil, the oil rigs and everything out in that what in the south. I'm pretty down in the south.
Okay, how did he set up quote unquote oil rigs in the south? How?
Okay, I'm gonna.
Okay, feel free to take a look. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up if you ever need to hit that subscribe if you have not already. Whenever you guys hit that subscribe, make sure to click on the notification and click all so you guys get notified every single time I go live. If you're over here on TikTok, double tap that phone screen if you have not already. We post a live show live, do all the wonderful things. Check out the link tree in the description of my video. Everything is appreciated, and even you following like my threads, Facebook, Instagram, that is greatly appreciated, as well as my Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. We're having the conversation here. He's gonna look up something really quickly. So we're just waiting on that. So make sure you guys do all of the wonderful things you guys already know if you watch here daily. I thought he said Biden stopped it. I have no idea what this guy's talking about. Trump's foreign supporters are hilarious. I can agree. Maple Magas are crazy. Trump supporters don't debate. They just blame Biden, Obama, Harris, or anyone else they can think of. Yeah, it's called Bidenism. It's a logical fallacy. Very interesting. Appreciate it. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. If you guys want to debate, make sure to join up in the guest box. I guess we can like do a little 2v1. We can bring up. Oh no, you're back. So what did Trump do? He left.